Chinese food, there's kind of two ends of the spectrum, Chinese food and American food. And in between, I think you have Taiwanese food and then American Chinese food. And so I think Taiwanese food is probably a little bit more westernized, just because I think the culture there in general is a little bit more westernized. And when I say that, I mean you're not going to find as many weird things. For example, in China, I never did, but my dad one time, he had dog, right, and he ate frog. One time in China, I ate eel. You're not really going to find too many weird dishes in Taiwan. You still will, but not as many. There's more mainstream. Lots of fried rice, lots of fried noodles. There are a couple dishes in Taiwan that are unique to Taiwan as well. They do have them in places in China, but not as much. One, for example, is stinky tofu. You'll become familiar with that if you're serving in Taiwan right away. But it's just a terribly smelling piece of tofu that I don't know how they prepare it, but they deep fry it. And that's something that I never learned to like. And so that's a little bit different from China. But yeah, that's just a little bit about the food. A lot of the Taiwanese dishes, like I said, a lot of them will be in China as well. However, I think one of my favorites was actually the Taiwanese breakfast. And they have something called danbing, which is they simply take an egg and crack it, and then they have, similar to like a tortilla, almost uncooked, and they just slap it right on top, and then they'll put bacon, cheese, other things. And breakfast in Taiwan is also really accessible and super cheap, and so lots of the Taiwanese people will just eat that. And so that was probably one of my favorite foods, was just like the breakfast foods. They also had something, they have lots of like steamed breads. In Chinese it's called mantou, and you can get those with, you can add eggs and bacon and stuff into that, which is really good as well. And then there's just lots of different kinds of dumplings. There's like shui jiao, which are, kind of dumplings boiled in water. And then there's guo tie, which are kind of pot stickers. And I think they do have these in China, but they also, in Taiwan, they have some kind of mainstream, almost like, I want to say McDonald's, but mainstream like fast food restaurants, but they're Taiwanese food. So like these guo tie, there's some really good places where you can get those.